It's you.
It's me.
But that night at the party...
Yeah, I was drunk and confused, and it ended like a minute after you saw us.
And you're Jewish.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
And I'm black, too. And gay. It's kind of crazy, huh?
I didn't think you'd come.
Me neither. Until I was walking towards you, I didn't think I had it in me.
I'm Vanessa Zoltan.
I'm Hannah McGregor.
And this is Hot and Bothered. Okay, Hannah, are you ready for me to summarize?
I'm so ready.
Okay. So Simon writes a letter on the blog being like, I'm gay. I am in love with this guy, Blue. Blue, if you are into me too, meet me. You know where I'll be after the play, which I was like, do I know where you'll be? But it turns out that he will be on a Ferris wheel, which goes back to one of the things that Blue said, that he feels like being in the closet is like being on a Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
Blue said, quote, sometimes I feel like I'm stuck on a Ferris wheel. 1 minute I'm on top of the world. The next I'm at rock bottom over and over all day long because a lot about life is great, but no one knows I'm gay. Is this a good metaphor?
I think not.
Me thinks not. But
but a metaphor it is. And
but a metaphor it is.
Let's end this movie on a Ferris wheel.
So Simon is on this metaphor.
On this metaphor. Simon's riding a metaphor.
Simon is on this metaphor and he's going around and around, and it means that he has to sit alone a lot because there aren't a lot of opportunities on Ferris wheels for someone to join you. His friends are all cheering for him. This draws a crowd. People are like videoing it on their phones. Then he's run out of tickets and no one has come and joined him. So Blue is not going to reveal himself. But then Martin shows up and is like, I'm Blue. And then is like, no, I'm not. You just look so pathetic here. I wanted to join you. Here, I'll pay for one more ride. And that is when the real Blue comes and reveals himself. It is this kid who Simon wanted it to be. It's Bram. And Hannah, this is the conversation he and Bram have. It's you. It's me. But that night at the party, yeah, you're Jewish. And then Bram says, I am Jewish and black and gay.
And gay.
And I was like, cool. I just think it's
neat. Okay.
So weird.
Cool.
It's
Cool.
so
Cool. Normal.
weird.
A normal way people talk to each other.
It's the funniest part of the movie.
And then they kiss.
You're the person I love? You're Jewish?
You're Jewish?
Okay.
All right. Well,
I don't think black people can do that, is the implication.
he was out there looking for somebody who looked more Semitic.
Yes.
So it really surprised him. Because amongst other things, Simon is also surprisingly anti-Semitic. And by surprisingly, I mean not surprisingly.
So funny. So funny. Okay. Then they kiss. And it is like, you know that NPR review that I mentioned last week where like the 84-year-old...
Yeah.
This kiss is designed for that 84-year-old mom to be able to tolerate it. It is like barely more than a peck.
They kiss like a married couple.
I feel like they kiss the way like toddlers kiss their moms. Like there's just like, there's something like a little enthusiastic about it, but nothing sexual about it.
Yeah.
So then it like fast forwards a little bit and it's only 17 days till graduation and everything is hunky-dory with Simon's family and he goes and picks up Carpool. He picks up Abby from her apartment building, and he picks up his other two friends, and his friend Leah gets in the front seat because Leah always got in the front seat. But then they pick up Bram, and best friend loses her seat that she has had for years.
Demoted.
Because of a
Demoted
boyfriend.
to the back seat.
Hate it. Hate it.
Sucks.
Bram gets in. They kiss like a couple that's in a fight, but they don't want the kids to know that they're in a fight.
Truly.
So they're like, okay, hi, did you have a good day? And they kiss.
Yeah.
And then Simon is like, we're ditching school today and I'm kidnapping you? He's like, it's too nice of a day. We're going on an adventure. And that is how you find out that the movie takes place in a suburb of Atlanta, because the skyline of Atlanta pops up. And you're like, apparently we've been just outside of Atlanta this whole time. And apparently Simon, the only white man in this car, gets to kidnap all of these women and men of color.
Because he's the one who owns the car.
And it ends with a kidnapping.
I knew that we were going to see Bram get picked up because they foreshadow it with the 5 iced coffees instead of 4.
Yes.
God, the fact that all of these kids drink straight unsweetened iced coffee with no milk in it is very weird to me.
And I live on a main street in a very wealthy downtown of a suburb. And every morning, there are just dozens of kids walking with their huge iced beverages, and they are all hot pink.
Yeah. None of them are just drinking straight coffee. That's bonkers.
I live on the ground floor of
weird.
this research. And let me tell you, hot pink is the most natural color you will see in these drinks.
For sure. I shared your outrage about Leah being delegated to the back seat. I also think the optics of Simon and Leah in the front seat while their 3 black friends are crowded together in the back seat would have also been a bad look.
Fair.
What really stuck out to me in this ending is that it maps exactly onto the beginning of the movie. So it's like, we've seen the version of Simon who is in the closet, and now we are seeing the version of Simon who is out of the closet. And this is intended, I think, to show us the ways in which being out of the closet has made his life better, but also to reinforce this, like, but at the end of the day, he's the same.
He's the same.
And so
he hasn't like gotten an earring or a rainbow tattoo on his forehead.
Precisely. So, he still lives in this huge wealthy home. He still like comes down to his family, like all gathered in the kitchen around the island, like a breakfast cereal advertisement.
I covet this kitchen, Hannah.
It's huge, but if I had enough money to have a kitchen that big, it would be more interesting looking. Because it's so bland. Like, it's such a, just like...
Sure, I just want an island.
A kitchen island would be incredible. And, he still owns the car. He still goes, picks up his friends. They still get iced coffee. It's like so invested in this idea of like, everything's the same, except now also he gets to have Bram in the car. And I guess the adventure.
Yes.
That is the thing that is like, oh, maybe Simon's a little bit more daring now. Like, maybe Simon's a little bit more willing to sort of do something unusual. Yeah, it's like he's become braver. He's become a little bit more of a rule breaker. But it's so tepid and low stakes. Like, skipping class. It's just like, oh, okay, well, I don't know. I did a lot of that in my last year of high school.
17 days till graduation. Most teachers aren't going anymore.
And they don't care if these kids aren't going.
No, they super don't.
No,
there was one teacher in my high school who cared. Her name was Miss Hukel. Anyway, one of the things that stood out to me is right as Simon is like going downstairs to, this great kitchen, Leah calls him and is like, Simon, did you see the gossip blog today? Look at how much you're inspiring people. And there's a hashtag, thanks, Simon. And Simon coming out has inspired people to say the following. One person has said, I have an eating disorder. Thanks, Simon.
That does make it sound like Simon gave him an eating disorder. Thanks, Simon. Now I have an eating disorder.
Hashtag thanks, Simon, for making me so brave to tell people about it. And the other one is I want to be an actor, and I'm afraid my parents will never respect me. So this movie equates coming out of the closet with eating disorders and the desire to be an actor. I'm just going to let that speak for itself. And Simon was not brave in coming out. He was outed against his will.
He was. Now, the bravery is not so much, I think, about the coming out. It's the Ferris wheel. And I think that is, like, as you noted, it's so awkward. And I think it needs to be really awkward because that is him doing something really brave. And I do think it's legit brave because it's legit vulnerable.
Yeah.
There is a distinct possibility that Blue does not show up and that you get rejected publicly in a humiliating fashion in front of everybody. And this is also what happened to Martin. So there is a sense of like making amends, right, for contributing to somebody else's humiliation, a sense of saying in general that it's okay to do really, really embarrassing things, that like playing it cool actually isn't the top priority. But really, at the end of the day, what it's saying is like being vulnerable encourages vulnerability in others. But like, again, we've got to play out like, what is the vulnerability at stake here? Because what feels like the real vulnerability that Simon has actually embraced is the possibility of romantic rejection, not being out. That final scene could absolutely have been a straight guy waiting for the girl he loves to show up or not. There is nothing specifically queer about it. And the other examples of people then also making themselves vulnerable, like you said, are not queer. They are about an illness that like naming is part of the process of treatment. And they're about an aspiration that like you are choosing to sort of stand behind and say that you are working towards. And so putting gayness alongside that, it suggests that like the only problem with being in the closet is that you're hiding yourself from the world.
Right.
That's the bad thing about it, is that you're not telling people who you really are. And once you tell people who you really are, everybody will celebrate you.
It would be like someone posting #MeToo and being like, I also am going to tell you something that I've never said before. I want to be a painter. #MeToo.
Yeah. It's like, well, that's not what we're doing here.
That's not what we're doing here.
It's like, I don't know, maybe have some other kids come out.
Yes. That is one of the things I noticed. I was like, this looks like a huge high school. Are there really only 2 out gay kids by the end of this movie? 3?
Yeah.
Really?
And nary a lesbian to be found. It's only gay men.
Wow.
There's only gay men.
Only
there's no
hot
queer
gay
women.
men.
There's no binary. Yeah, no, it's just, it doesn't feel like just realistic as a representation of a whole bunch of teenagers in general. But yeah, like, I just know when I was looking up that Ferris wheel quote, I saw a picture of the poster for the movie, and at the top of the poster, it says, "Everyone deserves a great love story."
Even gay people.
Even gay people. Like, that's it, right? It's like, wow, even gay people get to be loved. Like, I get it. What they're saying is that, like, a mainstream popcorn romance movie also gets to be about gay people. But boy, this movie is afraid of gayness. It's just like barely willing to touch it at any point.
The other thing that I have to say, so, you know, we say like, what does this contribute to what this movie believes about love? It does believe that love is public. like Simon does this very public declaration. Like you said, that's what's brave. But there is a scene right before the ending where Simon has helped his dad make his mom a 20th anniversary video. And like that is also sort of for public consumption.
Yes.
And it is that like love is public and therefore like has to be sanitized. It has to be something that everyone can watch. You don't want to watch your parents be too sexual and you don't want to watch two boys do more than peck. And so this like love has an audience seems to be one of the things that this movie is saying.
That's so interesting because we also never get to see Bram and Simon alone together.
No.
It never happens. They're at a party and then like Simon walks in on Bram kissing a girl and then Bram is like at the lunch table a couple of times, but like actually after the kissing, like after the party scene, Bram almost disappears from the movie. Like he's really not present in the rest of the movie.
Well, he's off being Jewish.
Well, he's too busy being Jewish. But like then it's the two of them in the Ferris wheel and then it's the two of them in the car. So we never get a single experience of intimacy between them. But we also don't get an experience of intimacy between any couples. We never get to see a couple on a 2-person date. We know that Leah and Nick go on a date, but we don't get to see it. When Simon is trying to set up Martin and Abby, it's a 3-person outing. When they're at the homecoming dance, it's all of them. Maybe the closest thing we get to, like, I'm just trying to rack my brain here. Maybe
Simon and Leah.
No, I think the closest thing we get to an actual moment of romantic intimacy, because yes, we do get the intimacy between Simon and Leah for sure. The closest thing we get to a moment of real romantic intimacy might be that exchange that Simon's parents have after he comes home drunk. Because we get to see the two of them briefly talk to each other about like how they're going to handle this and like agree that they're good parents. And I'm like, that might be the only time we see a couple not being watched by somebody else, not in public, being a couple. So you're right. This is like fully about how love is presented to other people.
Which is metatextually what this movie is, right? I mean, when people say this is the first queer teenage rom-com made by Major Motion Picture, what Major Motion Picture really means is distribution and marketing budget.
Yeah.
Because the actual production budgets can be pretty similar for a major studio film. This doesn't have a ton, like Josh Duhamel and Jennifer Garner are not like hugely expensive, especially for these small roles. And so this is really about the publicity and the marketing. So this is about how gayness is perceived. This is all a movie about perception.
That's so interesting. It's a movie that is about the problem of how the public looks at queer love. And so all it is interested in is showing us how people look at queer love. It's not actually interested in that love itself getting time.
Right. And I think most of the queer movies we've watched are not interested in queer love, but are interested in how queerness is accepted or not accepted by straight people.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that I think makes for me, but I'm a cheerleader, stand out is that
me too.
Is also
they actually fall in love.
They actually fall in love when we get actual intimate moments between the two of them.
Yeah. I keep thinking about, but I'm a cheerleader also.
But yeah, you're right. The sort of the obsession, the continuous obsession over outing and over queer love being a problem means that the love itself gets so little actual time.
Hannah, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
This movie has like a to me kind of interesting scene where the two bullies get pulled into the vice principal's office and Simon and Ethan also get pulled into the principal's office. But then what's really interesting to me, one of the subtexts of this movie is that tolerance is enough because the vice principal says, what you guys did was unacceptable. You are going to be suspended. But the vice principal keeps using the word tolerance. And that is what the end of this movie is to me. The subtext is, look, we'll take your tolerance.
Yeah.
As long as you can tolerate gay people, that's all we're asking for. And it is the lowest of low bars. But that is, to me, what the end of this movie is like, can you just stop not even tolerating us?
Yeah. And that, tolerance is not acceptance, let alone celebration. Tolerance is still very much on the sort of negative affect side of the scale. It's sort of one step up from active hate.
When I think of tolerance, I think of like a toddler pulling on a dog's ear and the dog not growling.
Yeah, the dog not biting.
Right. It's like, I'm miserable, but you don't know better.
Yeah. And there is this like tolerance because it is one step away from violence. It always feels like it gets to be conditional and that it gets to be withdrawn, So one of the conditions of tolerance that is set up in this movie is not being femme.
Right.
Right. Another one of the conditions of tolerance is not making anybody uncomfortable with your public displays of gayness, which is, related to not being femme, but like also these two quite masked gay men can't touch each other. Like they can have a chaste little kiss, but like
while on the top of a Ferris wheel so that no one can really see them.
Yeah. Or like in the front of a car, but like just a chaste tiny little kiss. There is within tolerance always the suggestion of like, don't ask for too much. Don't push things too far.
Yeah.
Don't demand anything of us other than not hating you. And we'll maybe give you that. Yeah. But any bigger asks are too much. And that is the version of palatability that makes this, the movie you can show your homophobic grandma. And
I like the idea of that quote being on the poster. The movie you can show your homophobic grandma.
That's basically the marketing. And tolerance as a political goal for me, like I think that we're seeing pretty clearly that like tolerance is not only inadequate, tolerance is dangerous. Tolerance leaves you profoundly vulnerable to your rights being stripped back away from you, which is why it's not as threatening to people in positions of power, because they're not having to give anything up.
Yeah, they're just having to not bite.
Yes.
But you can even stay looking displeased.
Yeah, you can still growl a little.
Yeah. If you could rewrite this ending, what would happen?
Oh my God. If I could rewrite this ending, I would want to end by seeing Simon and Bram together. I would actually like an ending where we get to see this couple being a couple. I want some time with them where we see what is his actual relationship? What is this love like? What are Blue and Jacques like when they're not purely an epistolary relationship? Like, give me some of that. Give me a date. Give me something. Oh, what about you, Vanessa? If you could rewrite this ending, what would you do?
I know I sound repetitive, but I think that within the context of this film, it has really been set up. I would like a musical number, but like that's gay. This is what you and I are going to talk about for our bonus scene over on Patreon. Is Simon has this like moment where he imagines what his life will be like when he's in college and out, and he imagines himself into like the most boring musical number ever. And if we want to see that coming out has made Simon more adventurous and more himself and like cooler and able to imagine bigger, he would be able to imagine a better musical number.
I mean, as producer Ariana just pointed out, we've got a built-in, genre trope for this kind of the last semester of high school movie, which is prom. Like,
it would solve both of our
truly
things.
would.
At the
It
prom,
truly would.
we could see them dancing together, and then it could turn into a dance number. And it would be Donna Summers instead of Whitney Houston. I love Whitney Houston, but she's not a gay icon. What are
Okay.
you
Well,
doing,
I think
Lou?
she is, but we'll talk about that in the Patreon episode.
Okay. Next week, we're watching Brokeback Mountain. Sorry.
I've never watched it.
You've been listening to Hot and Bothered. We are in the 3rd week of our annual Patreon campaign. Patreon is how I pay my rent. So if you could please support us there. We're trying to hit 100 new paid patrons. And if we hit our goal, you can pick a bonus movie for Hannah and I to watch for a bonus virtual event. So you can make me watch anything you want, guys. This is a moment for you to control me by going to patreon.com/hotandbotheredrompod. We are a Not Sorry production. The executive producers are me, Vanessa Zoltan, and the great and good Ariana Nettleman. We are edited and produced by Ariana Nettleman and distributed by Acast. Thanks, as always, to our soulmate-level patrons. Molly Reilly, who we would chase through an airport to declare our love to. Elizabeth Schweinsberg, whose heart we would play a game of one-on-one basketball for. Lauren Byer O'Connell, who we would call up on stage to dance with us in front of the whole summer camp. Avi Lichtenstein, who we would make every person in the kingdom try on a shoe for. Kristen Hall, who we would travel through a time portal to spend the 19th century with. Shiri Yadlin, who we would write a sonnet about and read it in front of the whole class. Delia Rose, who we are majorly, totally, butt crazy in love with. Leia Goldberg, who we would carry on our backs as we jump from tree to tree like a little spider monkey. Russell Tong, whose wedding we'd yell, "I object" at. Emma Greenlee, who we would choreograph and cheer for. And Lauren Gordon, who we would ride the Ferris wheel for over and over again. And of course, thanks to our team, Julia Argy, Nikki Zoltan, AJ Aramas, Courtney Brown, Anissa Ahmed, Danny Langley, and Stephanie Paulsell.